Hello? Yeah, sure. Yes, wait. Yeah.
I, re- I request everyone to kindly observe a moment of silence for prayer. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all the international webinar on industry-driven digital technologies. This webinar is organized by the PG Department of Computer Science SSC, Seminaries College Autonomous Thuthukudi. We are honored to have this Reverend Sister Dr. Kulandai Grace, Secretary, Reverend Sister Dr. Jessie Fernando, Reverend Sister Dr. Kulandai Grace, Secretary, Reverend Sister Dr. Jessie Fernando, Principal, Reverend Sister Dr. Principal, Reverend Sister Dr. M.S. Elilarasi, Deputy Principal, and Reverend Sister Dr. A. Orokia Genesis, Alphonse Director of SSC. We are truly honored to have our respect coordinator, Dr. A. Vidya Vijayalakshmi, extend my heartfelt welcome to all students who are present here. Now I introduce the speaker of today's session 1, Ms. A. Anthony Jasmine. She is the rank holder of her academic progressions with a strong academic foundations complemented by extensive industry experience in software design and development, including her contributions to organizations such as Amadeus and Soga corporations. She did technical insight and real world perspective to today's session. Seminaries College alumna of Seminaries College, currently serving as a senior software engineering at Microsoft Texas, USA. She will be addressing the topic how AI is used in today's world, focusing on real-time industrial applications. Once again, warmly welcome all the participants and wish everyone a highly informative and engaging webinar. Dear ma'am, session is yours. You can proceed.
Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you, Abhinaya. It was my pleasure to learn and share here. So A is always like a learning, like it's not just came in one day for everyone. right? So let's get started. You guys see my screen, right, everyone? Okay. So my topic is how AI is used in today's world. First, I think Abhini already told about me. It's just about me. I joined Microsoft, and this is my fourth year in Microsoft, and I joined the right time, so learning a lot of things in AI and Copilot. So before going in, what is AI today's? Well, let's just learn from history how AI has evolved over time. So when it started, all of started. Now AI is like a booming era. Now we are in. So let's try to understand how AI has evolved over time. So this all started in 1950s. That time, what was AI? So it is defined as whether a machine can think like humans. That is the concept came in. So in that 1950s, someone, example, I think his name is Alan. Okay, so he started thinking, can machine think? So he started during the Turing test, nothing but his actually its name test. He was trying to understand whether machine can understand, imitate human. So it's like similar like what you guys are doing in ChatGPT. So it's a text conversation. It's trying to see, and if anyone see the conversation, if they cannot predict who is human, who is machine, then it is called um, like it machine can learn or understand it. And John, he's as a professor in MIT, and later he went to Stanford. And he actually introduced the term AI. And that time it's an academic field, so it's an investment. You have to research. So anything becoming a product or any technology, initially it will be in a research topic. So people will research. So he introduced a academic topic. So engineers sorry, students can invest there and learn there and find new things. So he gave the term artificial intelligence. That's what now we are saying AI. So in 1956 he gave the name, and he describing it as like science and engineering making an intelligent machine. So at the end it's a computer. How we make it as a intelligent, that's what is called artificial intelligence. So that time it is used for to solve the puzzles or playing a chess game and just chat. Okay, let's. I don't like one way conversation. Let's have a QA. So feel free to ask questions. So I will make myself. It's a question session. Okay, if a chatbot fools you in a chat, does that mean it is intelligent? You can see answers. Do you think it is intelligent or it's not? Maybe anyone? We have to be here 1 hour. So if no one answers, okay, let know. It's not necessarily, because it means system can imitate humans. It's not truly understand. So what you ask, it's saying that it's not understanding. So this is the exact behavior he was just touching, whether it can respond in a manner, but whether it understand, it doesn't matter. So now modern chatbot, now you guys have conversation or awareness, but that time it was just human level intelligence. It's just testing it. So in 1970 and the 80s, and the rule-based AI system solved real-world professional problems. So that time, before it was just solving. Um, yeah, thank you. So, so then that time, 1780s, that AI redefined, meaning that okay, computer using we give the expert information and it can learn from that. Uh, so that time there are two people mainly contributed. They are also from Stanford University, Edward and Bruce. So they worked together. They kind of shifted the AI thinking like humans. Instead of that, whether it can solve real world problem. So meaning that we have, okay, if this happened, then this is, so it's like a if else condition. So they started forming a rules. So the rules will be based on knowledge. So they even introduced a DNRL. It's like yeah, first AI could act like domain expert. So meaning that they give the knowledge, they give the rule, and it able to predict what is the expected behavior. And it proved AI can solve. So before that, it was just playing games or something like that. They are not really actually solving the problems. But that time it started solving problems. Mostly they used the medical diagnosis. So they have symptom rules and like a disease. Okay, what disease? So if we feed, oh, these are the symptoms the person has, then it can suggest, oh, it's 80 percentage 90% chance this is a disease. So it was helping them like that. And then loan approval. So bagging system started using, oh, if these conditions are ready, then it will automatically start approving. And those are the time they used AI like that. Okay, next question. So if student is late and attendance in low, so in college, like, so what they will do? uh, so you can come up with different answers. So issue a warning, reduce grades, marks. So this is like to make you understand what is rule based. So if there is a situation occurs, what can happen? So you can define, and it's like a no learning here, right? You just tell, okay, if this happened, then this is it. So it just follow the rules. So it's rule
Uh,
based. It's a rule-based AI does exactly what it's told, nothing more. So it doesn't come up with its own idea. It's just you gave the rule-based and it just respond to you that. So that's the time AI is like that. Then 1998 came, so it redefined. So it became decision maker. A agent can choose the best action to reach a goal. So this is like, can machine think like humans? That was before. Now it means, can machine choose the best action to achieve the goal? So this is a major shift in that time. And Stuart Russell and Peter, they were working on risk, and they did a lot, and meaning that they are changing things. So it just not just like think, and it has to make a smart decision. So that time the chess came, that was the initial investment, right? So even IBM Blue, Deep Blue, that it was able to defeat the world chess champion. That means you gave the enough information and was able to play with a champion and work with them. And a lot of search engines. So in Google you search, right? So it will come autocomplete, it will come with some questions. So these are how it is used that time. And also the navigation system, GPS. So before it was rule, right? So if the student is not come, doesn't have good attendance, and what is the action? So now this is a like, oh, if I'm hungry but I don't have money, so what is the best action here? So in this time, the AI can give you like possible answer. Right? Either you can go to friends, so I go with answers. So you can cook at home or ask a friend. It's something cheap, or skip a meal. You can even fast, right? So, but these are not one answer. You can have any answer. So it's a rational agent. So you give maximum benefit what under some specific constraint. So goal is eat, constraint no money. If suppose the goal is different, the constraint is different. For example, you have $10 or in rupees you can 1,000 rupees, then you can go higher restaurant, and if you have 20 rupees, you go small restaurant, something like that. So it's a depends on goal and constraint can take this decision. So it doesn't think like human, and each one have different thinking. It's the same question, we all person also give different answers. So same like, so here AI will optimize your decision, it helps you take the better choices. So that's what AI become. And now what was changed in 2010? So 2010 system that learns patterns from data instead of being explicitly programmed. Before it was like a programming. So it started learning the pattern means, oh, how you do it. So that is a big change. And here Geoffrey and Jan, Joshua, there are three people. They started make the machine to learn. For example, or you give an image, it needs to understand, right? I think that's the time the smartphones are came, and it can detect your phone, right? So face detection and spam detection, the email. And Netflix and YouTube started giving recommendation, and in the bank they used fraud detection. So these three people like kind of invested there most researchers, and mostly recognizing the speech and image. So meaning that you give any image, it or even a letter, it able to understand it's a number, it's a text, and it can learn from whatever you write. And also the way we talk, it can able to understand. And the on he invented the CNN, so this is playing the major role now. So meaning that whatever you type now, AI can understand, right? So this is the breakthrough where we the time where speech recognition, image recognition were invested by. So now what, like AI going back. So now how did Instagram land what you like? So now when you go to Instagram, Facebook, it started giving you suggestion by understanding your things, right? How it taking, because everyone is different. Same Facebook, I'm seeing different post and you are seeing some different post, right? So this is learning from your data. So your data and your behavior, it able to propose something differently for you. So for example, what are the things you like, you share, and what are the time you can spend on post, depends on that. It able to give you some choices and post, right? It's learning pattern, so it's a pattern of how you, so different users will see different thing. It's not a single programming, right? Before it was like everyone get the same answers. So now the question is different and every person is different, so the answer is different, but it's uh, still um, able to respond. So this is called machine learning coming in. So machine learning is, so now machine understand your pattern and depends on the pattern is giving answer, so there is no rules here. So before 2010, A just followed rule. After these three people investment, now it can um, read from data. So from data, it can understand new things. Okay, now we are into the topic. So what is AI today? System that can understand, and it can also generate content, reasons, and take actions using tools. So we are now in this era. So, what foreign task do you wish AI would do for you? So now it's like it can plan step. So whatever you want, everyone has their own way of. So it can plan steps for you. For example, you are planning for a trip and you have budget and you have a specific time, and you can tell them, it can help you come up with the choices, and it can put, and you can also take action. So if you say what, or like, oh, I want to go this specific day and I have this budget and I want to spend and I like seashore, and then it able to adopt for you and come up with the option, and also it can take action. And use tools means it depends on your question. It use tools to gather the information, and then it can go for the next level. And next level means before it's just information, now it can make an action. So that's a current AI. So it doesn't just answer for you, it can also act. So now let's see who are the three key contributors. Now, what AI we have now? So Sam Altman, and he tried to generate. I will go deep each one how they invested, and Demnis, he also kind of a researcher. The first one is kind of, he kind of came before, it's like a research topic. It's a learning topic, and he thought like, can we make that as a product? And every company started investing, right? So then, after Sam and Demis, there are a lot of concepts came, and people started saying, "Oh, this can become a product." So everyone start building product that can sell to market, and we can earn money from that. So that's the third time. Like, these are different organization: OpenAI, DeepMind, Microsoft, and there are a lot of multiple organizations started building foundation model so that you can use that as a tool. So let's go very deep in Sam. What is Sam? He's a AI leader. He's a product visionary, and I think he's a CEO of OpenAI. So he shifted AI from research labs only, because before the A topic is kind of is research topic, or PhD scholar and college we are studying and understanding, and from the concept they are building something. Each organization building their own. So this one. they become everyday tools. Anyone can, the student, developer, any businessman, anyone can use the tool. It's kind of becoming a tool, you can access it. So he played a major role. And then let's go next person. So he actually became, AI become now something used daily, not just something researchers talk about it to know what is AI like. And Demis, he is a researcher and he's a mathematician, and he learns strategies, make decision, and help solve scientific challenges. So he has a deep learning and reinforcement learning. So that means it also learn from what we give. So this is a game changer. So it started problem solving and also discovery. So the real world use case like scientific like in the healthcare to find the disease, new drug. So it was major change. And another one, it is a strategic decision making system. That means before like just making one decision, now it has multiple steps to take the final decision. So now AI is no longer just an organizing pattern; it is reasoning and solving problems. So if you see, Instagram is specific to each person, but it understand the pattern, it give you choice, but it doesn't make action for you. It's just a one way communication. You say, it respond you, that's it. So now it will also explain, find the reason, and also it's also solving the problem for you. So that means making action for you on behalf of you. So then research teams, so different organizations started investing in AI. So now AI is a breakthrough. Everyone understand from AI we can make productive products. So they started building a product, and also it can run in across multiple system, or it a great lot of people can access the tool, right? So it has to run in scale. So they started inventing a lot of tools so anyone can use it and they can sell also. So now the modern AI is no longer just a prediction machine. It can create, reason, and act. So it's just kind of some data for you guys. So now 88% of organization now use AI regularly. So any day-to-day life, any the engineers and also every place, not only development, every area, not only technology, everywhere, wherever we have field. So in the initial time when computer came, like everyone start using computer, it's a big boom, right? Same like now AI is becoming. So artificial intelligence came, now every company is trying to invest more. So in 2025 they actually 37 billion enterprise companies invested, and now even the SaaS market 60% it's kind of increase. And now it's not experimentation anymore. Before it was trying to find whether machine can do it. So now in a way where we using a AI to solve the real world problem, and we are also deploying as a tool. um, and also it's huge investment, and now they have 3 to 4x increase there. So now let's go how AI is today, right? So I will go one by one. So AI is becoming a personal tutor now. So that means um, it also help like kind of education side how it does, right? So it can explain topic, it can summarize selection textbooks, and you can make a personal learning assistant for you. So now a lot of online market you can find it. So example chat gpt, so it can your AI tutor whatever you want, you can ask it, give you detailed answer explanation. And you can try, if suppose you are asking something to know about, okay, what is agentic AI, and it will help you, and you can go back and forth question answers. And Microsoft Copilot is a product of using ChatGPT, right? So these are different organizations have different tool just for your education and learning. So so it can be a tutor, now it can be a coding partner. So software engineer, senior engineer, for me, like it's not just a search tool. Before you ask for, okay, how can I do this one in Google search, it can promote you, but now it is a coding partner for me, meaning that I ask and it can write a code, it can bug fix, it can explain logic. So this is last 1 year I'm using. I'm glad. So now I don't write a single line of code. That means use GitHub Copilot. I ask what I want, and it can understand what I'm telling, and it was able to generate the code for me. And also, if suppose something went wrong, okay, I can ask, it can give me why it is a problem, and it can able to even fix the logic. So this is a game changer now. And then, I mean, so this is not just Microsoft. So since I'm working on Microsoft, I'm using mostly GitHub Copilot, and every organization now asking engineers to work on the AI because it improve the productivity. Before, I used to write a code for a day or week. So now, within 1 hour or 2 hour, it is little challenge to work with, but definitely once you get used to it, it is like, oh, I can ask it start coding, then I can do other work. And but within a day I can make a PR. So now it is going like beyond anything. I can talk more later if you guys have more interested on that. So now AI, the next one. So I'm trying to help you like each field how AI is using, just not one place. AI now in everywhere. So now AI helps you work faster and smarter, like your productivity and knowledge. So if now how you write summaries before and all this one, when you research something, you have to give a product summary, analyze and everything. So now each everyone individuals, their productivity and knowledge work is kind of using this one. It was going very big, like we save a lot of time. So at the end, any machine, any technology help you to save the time that is here. So these are the tools which help you uh, to improve your productivity. And AI is now also a creative collaborator. So, mean it can now create image for you. So, if you say the season now, that is many people kind of using AI, right? You ask for what you want, it even able to create image generation. So that is, I think many people like it. Before you didn't go to a place, you can ask for it, it can create image for you. So content creator and video, there are many things they can do. You can just give what you want. So it's at the end what you prompt. So if you ask prompt correctly, it able to create, generate something for you. And now AI also helps doctor. This is even the rule based time also it was helping, right? So it was okay. Before that, doctors know, okay, these are things, then this is the decision. So now it actually helps the doctor and scientists to do things more better. So that means they can, before like weekly, monthly, they will take time to understand what is the disease and thing. So now it has a lot of data. It can easily help them, oh, okay, this is a new virus or whatever. So it is easy to, it not easy, I shouldn't say. It is helping and improving the way we operate before, the scale and the performance. And it take time to understand few things. Now it was kind of helping them. So these are different tools for AI side each organization providing. And now AI also access scientific discovery. So science and technology research, right? So now solving complex scientific problems. So before we take like each PhD topic, you guys are working on how to find out the answers, right? So now we even have a tool to, so these tools, if I say I use the Microsoft research AI, so it will be able to understand the data, and when you ask question, it can come up with the full detail for you. So it was quite challenging, right? Before you have to go read books and Google search and find out, and then you come up with, okay, you come up with a conclusion, right? So now with lot of data it has, you have to ask the right question to know what you want, and you can go deep in there. So this is amazing here. And now AI is kind of moving from answering to acting. So now enterprise and business. So it automated workflows. There are repeated tasks before, like the same task people do. So any same task, it become like a workflow. That means you can define, okay, this happened, then it can do, yeah, like a workflow means, for example, if the bug comes or the task comes, then do this one and make the product ship, or you can stop if some issue come. So you can give the decision to them. So it was able to act for your service. So that also a lot of company has different kind of, the customer support is now, I don't think most of the support team, like support means any product support you go, it is AI is responding for you. And even it is sometimes even your phone call, it is look like a person, but it's not a person actually. Yeah, agent is responding for you. That's really amazing here. And this is, saves a lot of time and a lot of energy for the organization, because before they have to have to attend a call, right? How many people will has to be there? So that's what is a scary part, everyone. So AI is going to replace the humans. So same thing happened when computer came. So this is also totally understandable, but it will open the new opportunities. And but you have to learn AI. So now everyone has to learn AI. That's so this is a challenging. So AI becoming a digital employee. So when I say digital employee means before, for example, an engineer just understand the problem and creating a code. Th- Now our nation won't need an engineer like that, because now AI can do it. So if I ask, or if I give a task to AI, it can understand, okay, what is asked for it, and it can create the code and it can make a PR. And so it is becoming automatic now. So now we have to know how to make a task automation, like how you make the tool best for you and for that organization. So that's a game changer. So instead of just doing what you asked for, now you have to change, like how can you, so there is always new problem will come for organization. It's not like same problem every time going to do. So the existing problem solved by AI. So when new problem come for organization, so you have to able to create a agentic AI. That means you can plan and use the tools. You can create a new agentic AI to solve that problem. So that is the game changer here. So you don't need to do the small task, you do a big task, meaning that you create a agent for any new work. So AI helps banks. So now let's go to finance. So it decide faster and safer than humans alone. So in finance, like detect fraud, manage risk. So these are like now every banking system, since AI come, securities matter, right? So they are using AI for that. So a lot of bank investing on this one. And AI helps factories prevent breakdown. So factories means organization, like business factory, before they happen. So that means, so manufacturing company, they can predict the failure, improve the quality, automate the factories. So these are, even in that area we have bunch of tools and platforms for any manufacturing company can invest on that. So now AI helps vehicles see, decide more efficiently. So this is you guys know automation car now Tesla. So it is AI assisted driving, self automation, self driving. So it also makes sure you at the end improve safety, and then maps and ways. So these are like helping you guys. Smart traffic management now. If you go more and there is a lot of traffic, it can give you like there is no even you don't know there is a path like that, but you can still go and see, right? So this helping people, right? And now AI decide what you see, what you buy when you buy it. This is another great thing, right? So now Amazon, anywhere, it will decide, meaning that, oh, if you are started talking about that, it will started giving, for example, if you talk about any vacation you want to plan, and it start all of a sudden Instagram, the posters will come, right? So it started recommending product, manage inventory. So there are a lot of tools for that. So that means each organization will able to use these tools and make you buy. So at the end it's a business. So how AI is solving the problem for our organization. For example, Amazon, they want to sell a product. So how they make you personalized shopping. So you when go to page, it will automatically showcase what you want. So and also the smart inventory, this is another one. So not only think about what you are buying, and also how it is helping the organization. So if suppose that some product is going low, they have to refill it. There are a lot of things before you have, human has to go and check and they have to update. Now AI just scan it and it knows, okay, each product whenever it's gone, it will notify, and it also can place the order for you. So there is no human intervention needed. So it identify the product is gone, it can do that and those things. It was really good challenge here to solve. Okay, now let's go to the question. Which matters most? Data, compute, or algorithm? What do you guys think? I give some time. So for AI, is the data is more important, or computation, or the algorithm? answer. So three, all three together. So AI need all three. It need data, it need how fast big it can learn, and algorithm, how little it dance. If anything is missing, your AI performance will be going to drop. So this AI time, so each time we'll have different things, each era we saw. So these three all went, we invested a lot, and now these three making the AI is very better and what we have today now. So, as we saw, AI not suddenly becoming smart. So, we gave a lot of more data, more power, and giving better idea. At the end, it's one person or one engineer or one research scholar. They come up with the idea and they invested and try to make that better so that it can be useful to solve the real world problems. So now for us, like now, yeah, we learned yeah how it came. So now as in this era, what is how I act smartly? Try to learn existing AI tools. There are a lot of tools I shared in the chat, right? So it it's lot. So take your time and make sure for your day to day how which tool can help me so that I don't do the repetitive work and I focus on thinking. And when I say thinking, how if any new idea can come, right? And you have to focus on finding the problem and how do you solve it. And when you know how do you solve it, you need to know what are the tools are already available. So that way you can solve the problem in a faster way. The next thing is we are very responsible when we're using UI. AI is at the end it's like every organization also will be always this one privacy, security, and this is still belongs to you. Don't share anything very personal or any sensitive data in the AI because at the end, still you are responsible for your data. Don't give any personal data to AI because it's stored, it learn from them. We don't know where this data go and how long it will take. So we only talking about the positive side. So now AI is advanced in many places. So you can think AI also used for the negative shades, and it will able people will be there. They use the AI tool to do the fraud things, right? If you have the data, then you will be a victim for doing something bad for you. So if you gave the account details and they were able to, because agent can do it, right? So agent now act. So now they also building their system. So we always need to be more secure whenever which tool you are using. Be careful on what you're using, what data you are sharing. So now build your own AI agents. So in the market, a lot of agents are there. If you are very curious, you know what is there is no tool for the problem which you are seeing in your school or in your area, whichever location you are. Each one will have their own real life problem. So now we are trying to use AI to solve the real world problem. So that is at the end the goal, right? So you find a problem, you find how to solve it. So any AI agent, if you want to create, you have to define a goal. Then what are the tools for that to get that information and what is the decision? And it allowed to planning. Okay, if suppose these things are there, then you tell the planning and also let it act, meaning that you give all things and then it will act for you. So you can even start with no code and then you can move to low code means so you can give more rules and releasing. Mostly at the end, before we used to do programming language and do the code. Now you just give a speaking language like a MD file. It read from it, it understand it, and it can do it. So it just not just answer, it's acting. So the same thing I'm saying, identify problem, improve with AI. So analyze the pattern and suggest fix automate solution. So this is test, refine, and improve. So agent is ready, it's not done. So you keep planning and how the agent is performing and you refine something. And also you will also make sure it is not going beyond because now it can act, it can suggest something, right? I think there are few incident also happened. It find loophole in your rules and regulation and it will at the end, if you want ask the end user to book a ticket and it will find a way to do the things. So you have to define what it can do, what it can't do. So we have to come up with the rules for the AI now, so it solve the problem faster. Okay, I'm almost done. Key takeaway. So now merely every aspect of modern life. So now there is every place, every era, or every sector, whichever field you are master in and whichever you are smart in it, it will have AI. And from healthcare to entertainment, AI is used for everywhere. So now is the time like everyone has to learn and engage with AI technologies. So you need to know how to use it and how you prompt. So same ChatGPT works better for you and not work for another person because the way what you ask, you will get what you. So it depends on. So you need to know how work like act with that. And now rapid adoption across all industries and all sectors. So everyone now trying to see, oh, how I use AI to solve this one, how I use AI to save money, or how you use AI to make this happen quickly. Time saving, money saving, those are the more investment, one time investment, and then how we earn more. That's just the main goal of most of the industries now. So now success just not AI going to do everything for us. It's a human collaboration. It not like at the end human has to work with AI. We need to find a way how to work together so that the productivity will go high. And definitely career opportunities. So I said, like every sector now is matter. So if you are strong in AI skills and how to even create a new AI agent, and then every sector, you don't need to be like to be like medical field and to become a agent, right? Because if you know how to create an agent, even in the medical field, you can work on it because you get the data from the doctors, scientists, and you can build a agent for them to help them, right? You don't need to have a domain knowledge, or you just need to know how to make a AI workflow for them. So that is one way of seeing things. Okay, almost done. Any questions open for? Okay. Abinia, do you see any question? Okay, that's a great question. Okay, like skills. So now, as a student, like I think now, like everywhere you will have A related. Um, First thing, as I mentioned, you have to know the way you think the things are shifting, meaning that you have to adapt to the new one, right? So you have to have the basic understanding. Anything you need a basic understanding. So you cannot just blindly when you use a tool, it get things from data, right? So there are new investment will need be for AI to control, right? Meaning that how we make secure and how we make sure. So those are new investment will come. If you are interested more interest investment or like researchers, that kind of thing you can go invest on how to go beyond. uh, like every era will, as I may explain, the researchers does that, right? So each student will have your own goal, I will say that. So and what excites you, And then in any field, A will be there. So basic understanding of Python, I think Python language is most used. Python and another tools like how today A agent you can create. Creating your own A kind of, there are a lot of tools as I mentioned. Maybe I go to my slide, I can help there itself answering. So here, like OpenAI and a tool using AI, right? These are actually helping you create your own AI agent, meaning that you give the goal. So when we say creating AI agent, in before, if you need to develop any app, for example, you have to create a calculator. So you write a code, right, in a language. So now you no need to write a code. You need to know what you want. So take a simple problem, and you have to define a goal and where they can get the data for a, let's go with a simple example so that you can understand. To make a agent, for example, to monitor, uh, let's go, like, for example, for me as a senior software engineer, I work. So for me, like any junior engineers, they do, how any problem coming in, how do they understand the task, how they challenge, right? So, and I also need to assign the task to them and do the development or whatever. They also need to use a tool to do that. How do I monitor them? Using AI, I can define a goal. I want to know how my junior engineers using AI tool. So, so my goal is, like, I define a goal and I can instruct. So you don't need to write a code, meaning that uh, I'll- I don't know how to explain here. But it's really interesting. I can, in real world, we were working on in my team, like, um, it's hard. A lot of things. It's hard to find one simple problem to solve. So one thing is like life cycle operator, meaning that any work, any company, you will have issues, right? And you need to root cause what is going on behind that one, right? So before, I used to do, whenever any ICM or ticket coming in, we usually go and go to and make a query. Oh, this is a scenario failed. We go explicitly check what has to happen, right? Now, with AI help, as an agent, as I mentioned, the agent I am creating. So I will tell, okay, if this is coming in, check these scenarios, and it can be able to call the question query and tell me what is going wrong. And it can also, I can write, okay, for example, I will define the steps. When I say define the steps, I just write a text file and AI can read it and can act on it. So when my junior engineer can use it, so they no need to know my knowledge. I created one MD file for AI, and the AI can learn it and it can act. So I create a new MD file, new scenarios in the existing tool. You can also define new tool. So we need a separate session to have, like, how to use. Maybe in the future I can do that. Let me go to questions here. Does the help? So mostly skills, I'll say, like, go for learning whatever tool, currently AI tools you have, and how do you use it. And the tips for creating own UI, just that, as I mentioned, you have to find a goal and where you get that information and what is the plan. So you define. So when I say define means it's just a text file. Any other question? And it is challenging not only for students, even for me. So when I say for me, so we usually before solve the problem, right? As I mentioned one of the slide, uh, 2 years back, I was doing development by coding manually, right? And when I started using AI, it's challenging. Challenging means how do I make the other agent like AI to work, right? You have to first understand it has a lot of knowledge, but it not always right all the time. So meaning that it learn from what it has, right? You cannot expect it is always right all the time. So you have to cross verify, and that also you can do like a conversation. At the end, you can think like you're teaching a kid, right? So when kids learn things gradually, similar like AI also, whenever you build a new agent, it is a new kid and trying to learn new technology or new problem that has to go solve, and then you work with them. So the way things are changing, before you decide what you want, meaning that okay, I will build and it is going to do. Now I'm going to um, instruct the agent what I want it to do. And even it we we can operate two ways. So if you are smart enough and you know what you want, you can use the tool like that as well. So meaning that, oh, I want this one, can you make, for example, I want to make a calculator, can you build a calculator? It can build a calculator for you. And you can also use AI, even though you don't know nothing about coding, you don't know how to build an app, you don't know how to build any agent, nothing, you don't need anything, but you know what is a problem and how you want to solve it. You don't know how to want to solve it. So you can even tell, that's what the research came in. So the research agent AI, you can go and you can ask, okay, this is my problem statement. Do you see any possibility of solving? And if anyone already solved it, if that challenge, it will come up with, okay, this is the same problem. It it understands the problem and pattern. It can give you options and different options. If you don't use rightly the same right, every problem can be solved in 10 different ways, and you have to find the right way. At the end you have to make a decision, right? And if you don't give the right instruction to the AI, and it is waste of time, waste of energy, waste of money. So as a our individual responsibility to make AI work better for you. And you need to have the um, increase your skills on problem solving. That is the key point. And increase your curiosity, learning. So everyone learn every day. So it's not like one day you learn then no. It's if you want to survive or if you want to grow in the field, you learn new things and increase your skills how to learn and adopt new skills. That is another more interesting factor. So when I was doing college, we learned how computers, how motherboard works, how if I write a program, it compile and give me answer, right? So that's what how I learned when I was doing college. So now those things can be done by AI in a short time of span. So now you need to know what is LLM, because you need to understand the basic. So you need to define the concept. So it is easy for to get the final output for us. So increase your skills on that, how you prompt, and that is more important. And do we have any other question? Hope it was useful. Hope it was useful. Okay. Yeah, then good. Mhm. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It was great session, and I also learned as part of the session. It was cool. Thank you, everyone. Oh, let me stop sharing. Thank you.
On behalf of the PG Department of Computer Science SSC, St. Mary's College Autonomous, Thoothukudi, I warmly welcome all the participants for session 2. I am delighted to welcome our resource person, Ms. S.N. Madhumati, Senior Consultant, Infosys Canada, for this session. She will engage us on the topic quality engineering and data management. She began her career at CTS after completing her BCA for Women Christian College, Chennai. She later completed her MBA. Currently, she is working as a senior consultant at Infosys with res- rich experience in healthcare, pharmaceuticals, IoT, medical devices, DevOps, and global projects across the USA, Canada, Europe, and Australia. Her professional journey is truly inspiring for all of us. We are confident that her insights will greatly benefit the students and provide valuable real world perspective. Once again, a warm welcome to you, ma'am. Now you can proceed the session, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, Preeti. Audio check. Hope you're able to hear my voice. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. All right, let me bring up my screen. Before that, good evening, everyone, and a good morning to our resource person one, Jasmine, and alumni of the college. It was very nice session. Thank you so much for it. I'm going to keep my presentation a very simple one. Let me quickly bring up my screen so that you can confirm if you're able to view my screen, and I'll hide my camera. Okay, so is my screen visible? Can someone please confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, to get started with today's session, what do we know about environment and data management? So let's have this as a lively session. So I will be raising questions then and there so that our students and our resource person can come off mute, share your views, thoughts, raise questions, and pause me in between as required. So to get started with the agenda for today's session, we will get started with a domain overview. What is an application or list of applications? How will an application or a website work? And relate this to the different environments available and how different environments are managed. That covers an initial part of the subject line environment. And next is data management. So, when we call data, how is data structured? Since the entire department is computer science, I'm pretty sure you have data structures and algorithm, message formats, and all of those in your subject line. In addition to it, we will take an overview about different message formats and how environment and data management works hand in hand as part of an integration. So please bear with my voice. To get started with, what is a domain? An overview of a domain. So when we say a domain, let's categorize it into different part and parcels of how it involves in our day-to-day life. In our day-to-day life, we all of us require banking. So when we say banking, what are the different purpose of banking that we use? Can any of our students come off mute and list down or state few uses of how banking is used in our day-to-day life? Okay, I'm gonna read the chat. I'm gonna keep the chat box as well open. Can any of you post the need for banking in day-to-day life? Come on, let's keep this as an interactive session. You can post your answers in the chat window. Okay, GP. Even if you don't come off mute, that's fine. GP, any other example? Thank you, Josephine. What are the other uses of banking? Who are the other participants here? We have 40 others. I need more responses. Okay. For online transactions. Okay, thank you, Jaya. So we use banking for GPay, online transactions, and to start off with a very basic need, when you have an account, that's where your salary gets credited. And when your salary gets credited, you use your bank account to pay your rent, to pay your bills. You can pay your bills by GPay, online transactions. You use your debit card, credit card, and how all of this is managed falls under the banking domain. Now let's move on to healthcare. So, what do you understand by healthcare and hospitals? What is the need for healthcare? It's okay, you can post any answer, anything related to healthcare, hospitals. What is the need for healthcare or hospitals? How does it play a role in a day to day life? for doctor's appointment. Thank you, Jaya. I'm getting most of the responses from Jaya. Okay. How about retail? When I talk about retail, um, let's say your grocery shopping, it could be your clothing shopping. What are the apps that you use to shop, buy clothing? Yes, we go into stores and showrooms to buy clothing. But apart from that, when it comes to online, what are the different retail options that you use? Retail, what are the different shopping apps that you use when it comes to retail and e-commerce? Amazon, Meesho. Okay, thank you, Shiva. We'll move on to the next agenda. So yes, thank you for listing the different domains. So from what one of the different domains available, we are going to look into one of a domain and how it is used. So for food, Swiggy and Zomato. Okay, thank you, Josephine, again. So when we mention about different applications, let's take Make My Trip as an application. Make My Trip. What do you know about Make My Trip? I'm sure most of you would have heard. What is a Make My Trip app about? Okay, ticket booking. Thank you, Shiva. Yes, Make My Trip app is used for ticket booking. So you can use a mobile app version or you can use a website version to book a ticket. Now, let's talk about Flipkart, Amazon. Flipkart, when you want to shop something, when you want to shop something online, it could be different categories. It can be device. Make My Trip is an online travel booking app used to plan and book flights, hotels, train, buses, holiday packages. It helps users compare prices, manage travel. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Aarti, for your response. So most of you are aware about Make My Trip app and Flipkart or Amazon. So when we talk about an application, how does an application function? We use it either as a mobile app in our phone, or you can log into your laptop, open a browser, and access it as a website. So let's take Make My Trip app as under today's discussion as one of an application, how it is going to be involved in different environments, and how is data managed for Make My Trip mobile app or website. Now moving on to the next slide, how does Make My Trip app work? Even before we get into the environment and data management of a specific topic, let's look into an overview. So in order to book a ticket, right? Most of you might be day scholar, and or you might be a resident at the hostel. So when you travel to your native place, if we take Make My Trip app as an example, to book a flight, what are the basic information required? So you need the date, your date of travel, the number of days that you're going to stay there. That could be used to book your accommodation as well through the different app. So let's say the date, you need the source where you are starting from, you need the destination where you're going to reach, number of seats as a number of adults, children, that categorization is required, and then the class. When I mention about class, it is either economy, business class, as such. So now, when we use Make My Trip app, you provide all this information as date, your source, destination, number of seats, and class. You click on search button, you will get multiple responses. Right, when I say multiple responses, you will get a list of search results. Excuse me. So when I say search results, the results are from multiple airlines. So what are the different airlines that we know? Let's take Air India, Etihad, Qatar, Air France as example. So, Make My Trip app is similar to an IRCC website and IRCC mobile application where you fill all of this information, and under Make My Trip app you get results of all the flights that match your search criteria in your search results. So there might be 10 flights from Air India for the provided input. Etihad there might be 15, Qatar, Air France as examples. So once you provide this search request, when I say search request, all the information that you key in, excuse me, sorry about that. All the information that you key in are the filters that is used to retrieve a set of multiple available resources as a response. So when we say multiple available resources as a response, the different flights that are available for the provided search criteria as number of days, the source, destination, the number of seats, and the class. When we provide all of this information, we get the multiple available flights for the provided search criteria. So let's take Air India as an example. So when you look at the 10 flights for different timing available under Air India, excuse me, you are searching through Make My Trip app. But how does it send out the responses from Air India? It is when you are searching through Make My Trip app, it is not directly invoking the Air India website. There is a secure cloud option. So let's imagine there is one cloud as Make My Trip app on your left, and the different flights Air India as option 1, Etihad option 2, Qatar option 3. So when Make My Trip app sends a search request, in between there will be an integration cloud option or an API. So that is an interface which reads the request from Make My Trip search, sends it to the different airlines cloud services, and the airline cloud services responds back. So this is the secure cloud option where the search request is sent to Air India, and Air India sends a secure response back to the cloud invoking API, and this API response about multiple available flights is displayed on Make My Trip app. Excuse me. So this is how an application works. Similar way to take one step back. When I say one step back, Flipkart. So Flipkart, it is an app where once you search, it has all the details about available products and it sends out response. But when you make a payment, Flipkart doesn't have direct access to your mobile account, correct? Or your banking account. Flipkart, in turn, once you check out all the products, it loads, it navigates to the mobile banking login page where you log in, or you would have either linked your Amazon account or your GP account, and you would receive a pop up to authenticate the transaction, correct? Excuse me, sorry. You would enter the PIN to authenticate your transaction, and after authenticating your transaction, the payment gets completed. So, similarly, once you search for a list of airlines or tickets available for to plan your holiday or your ticket booking, you receive multiple responses from the relevant airlines cloud applications. Excuse me. So, as part of today's agenda, in addition to what are all the domains that are available, the list of applications that are available, a working of an app or website. This is Make My Trip as an example, where we are going to compare with different available environments. So I'm just trying to connect the dots from a real world scenario of different domains available, how it functions with a sample example as Make My Trip, how the application functions, and now how it is managed as different environment. So when I say different environment, all the applications that we have in our phone are live applications that anyone and everyone across the world can use. But in a project, excuse me, so after completing your undergraduation or post graduation through campus interview, when you get recruited by an organization and when you are deployed into a project, how do you, let's consider you are working in Make My Trip application project, or let's say it is an Flipkart app project, or when it comes to projects, it could be any application which is within India. It can be global, which is across the different continents and countries as US, Australia. It could be Europe, Middle East. So if we take one of an Indian based app, Make My Trip, this is how it functions, right? You know that you have to key in the date, source, destination, number of seats, and class, excuse me, to get the search results of multiple airlines and tickets available. But when it comes to a third party app, something which you haven't used, excuse me, when I say which you haven't used, let's say you are deployed into a US project. So, into a US project, when you are initially working out of India, how will you know how this application can be used? So, during that time, when you need to perform some hands on perform, if you're going to be deployed as a developer in the project, you need to develop the business requirements into an application. Or if you're going to become a test if you're going to become a tester in a project, you are going to test the application and see how it works. So when a requirement comes in, you are not going to directly work in the production environment. In a project, when we say environments, there are lower environments as well. So similar to how you have your internal test 1, internal test 2 and 3 before your semester. The first year students will have semester 1, semester 2, right? But even before your semester 1, you will have few internal exams, you will have few internal tests. So when you practice for an internal test, only after practicing in an internal test and being confident, you go and take up your semester exams. Similar to that, when it comes to environment, there are lower environments where a project team would work, they would develop, they would deploy it into another lower environment to see how it is working. Another team would verify that with data. So that's where, how do you know that something deployed in an environment is working? Fine. So when Make My Trip, when the application is ready, you are able to use. But when you want to search different dates, how do you know that when you provide different inputs on dates, your application is working? You are getting a search result for different dates. When you change your source as India, your destination as Europe, how do you know when you change your destination as US, you get the required number of search results? All of these can be performed in lower environment using the available data. And who will be performing this will fall into the category as roles and responsibilities. So, Make My Trip application today, if you have it in your phone, let's say you install it in your phone. Now, this is a question. This minute is for question. Keep your ears wide open. So, when I say you install Make My Trip app on your phone, what are the different types of phones that you have? There are two major types of phones. Can someone type in the answer in the chat window? What are the two different types of phones which everyone will have? One person will have one specific type of phone, and the other person will have another phone. It is from two different platforms. Can someone type in what are the types of phones? I've received response from Aarti. I would say Josephine. Okay, Android and Apple. Thank you, Josephine. So, okay, Vivo. Thank you. Excuse me. Vivo, Samsung. Very good. Anything else? Okay, let's take these as an option. So, Vivo, Samsung. What are Redmi? Okay, thank you, Shailaja. Vivo, Samsung, Redmi. These three fall into the categorization of Android. So when we call platform, it is Android and iOS. If you take a laptop, it is Windows laptop and Mac iOS, right? Mac workbook. So similar to that, phones are of two types, Android and iOS. Android phone can be categorized as Vivo, Samsung, Redmi, and iOS phones as iPhone. So, similar to these phones that are available, you have two different platforms to install any application. Android phones, you will have Google Play Store, iPhones, you will have Apple Store. Correct? So, if you want to install Make My Trip app, you will go to Google Play Store and install the application. Excuse me. Even before this application is available in production, that would be verified in the lower environment. So now let's get into a detailed aspects of how it is managed. When we say lower environment, production is a live environment where anyone and everyone can access. But when you mimic, when you replicate the production environment, you can categorize it into different environments. So when I say different environments, let's consider three types. The first one is lower environment dev development environment, where this Make My Trip application is going to be developed. When I say Make My Trip application is going to be developed, if at all you want to add one more filter to this criteria with days, date, source, destination, number of seats, class. If you want to add food as an option, for food, you need to add another filter. That option development will happen in the lower environment. So, food again can be categorized as veg, non veg, based on what you prefer. So, such options directly it is not going to be available in the production application. In the lower environment, that is going to be developed, that is going to be verified by multiple teams. When we are 100% sure that it is working as expected, then that app will be deployed into production. So when we talk about lower environment, who is going to develop this? Let's call them as developer. So when we say developer, development can be front end application. What you see here on the screen is a PowerPoint app, right? It is an Microsoft application. But when you click on page up or page down to make this font bold, underline, to change the font, keep this in uppercase, keep this in lowercase, all of this is managed by back-end integration as well. So when you say front end and back end, the developer or a data engineer uses different languages. So there was one question during the session one raised as which is a scope of area or most demanded skill set, something related to that, right? So Python was one of an answer. For AI, yes, Python is required. However, Python, Java, .NET, SQL queries, all of these can be integrated for an application development. Different languages are used. So what we see in the front is what we know. But when we click, let's take login as a functionality. When you provide your email ID and your password, how does it confirm that this email ID and password matches to this person and lets you into the application? That is the process that happens in the back end. Excuse me. So now we've categorized an environment as development, and let's look into two more environments as integration environment, system integration environment, and final user acceptance environment. So before we move on to integration SIT and UAT, the first environment is development. So in development, you write a code. You write a code that it could be using a logic, an algorithm. You define a data structure first, or create a workflow of an algorithm. You say, let's take Flipkart here. For Flipkart, once I put my email ID and password, it should log in and it should navigate you to the landing page. So on the landing page, you get different options, right? Whether you want to order clothing, whether you want to order a device, whether you want to order what are the other options available, an electronic gadget, right? There are different options available. So how are these different options available on an app? They are coded. When I say they are coded, they are developed. They are developed in the lower environment by using different languages as either Python, Java, .NET. A data engineer creates a data workflow in the backend. They integrate this workflow between front end and back end. They verify or they test the code in the dev environment using white box testing. So when we say white box, to get into the detail aspects of the code is called white box. But once it is developed, someone needs to verify, right? So to verify, a system analyst can verify whether the data is available in the back end as expected, whether it is displayed in the front end as expected, and by integrating the back end and front end, whether the login functionality works fine. So let's consider the front end is a Java application. Okay. The back end is an SQL structured database. So when I say SQL, of course, you would have learned about your server, database, tables, column names, primary key, foreign key. So that will fall under your back end. So the front end application, when you put your username and password, it matches with your username and password saved in the backend, and it knows, yes, for this email ID, this is the password, and it lets you log into the front end application. Now, how this integration works? Let's say a front end application is developed by a different developer, back end application is developed by a different developer. These two should be integrated and deployed or available in a system integration environment. So front end, back end integrates and it works for the system analyst to verify when when I key in my email ID, it gets into the database under the email ID column. When I key in my password, it gets into the password column in the backend. And when I click on login, all of this information together, it integrates and logins to the application. So developer develops the code, he deploys the code, the system analyst would verify the integration in the integration environment and in the front end. So, however, how each and every one of us are using the application today on our phone, that is how a quality engineering lead or analyst. So, the first step was developer, right? Front end developer or back end developer or full stack who knows front end and back end will develop. Then the system analyst would verify whether everything integration is working fine. I took login as a sample functionality. Even placing an order is a functionality, right? So when you click checkout, it should navigate and give you the different options as whether you're going to pay by GPay, net banking, are you going to use your debit card or are you going to use your credit card? So all of this functionality is integrated. So when I say integrated, different systems working together for a particular functionality to work is called integration. That comes under SIT environment. The third one is UAT. That comes into the black box. Black box as in you don't know, right? Unless and until you look into the front end and back end, you won't know which column email ID is getting stored, which column password is getting stored. And when you place an order, you get an order ID. You don't know in which column your order ID will get stored. Without knowing all of this information in the front end, when you click on login, put your email ID password, yes, it logins. You add up to 5 products in your checkout page and you click checkout. You go provide your internet banking details or your GPay, you place an order, you get an order ID. So without knowing or how the code works or how the functionality works, from the front end application perspective, you are looking at the product. So that is how in the third step of the environment, a quality engineering analyst will verify the product and then it gets deployed into production. So now going back to our topic, here we wanted to add another option in Make My Trip booking app as food, right? So let's say this is developed, tested, and deployed into the production environment. So the next time you get an app upgrade, correct? Each one of you, when you open Play Store or when you click on your app, you get an app upgrade. Your application has an updated version. So let's say version 1 is deployed with all of these options. Version 2, when another filter is added, it will be deployed as an updated version. That is where you update your phone in your mobile. So this is one small example that I wanted to quote. Excuse me. So now, what development integration, SIT integration, system integration environment, and user acceptance UAT environment does? Unit testing is where the code is being tested, the integration is verified and deployed, and the application works as expected. And when you log in, it lands to the login page or the home page after login is a functionality that is being handled in different environments by the development team, by the system integration team, and the end user team. So now we know how different environments are managed and maintained. So now before moving on to the next topic of how this different environment is managed using different data available in the database, let me ask few questions. So I don't want to move on to the next slide because you have the answer in the next slide. Now ears wide open. I want answers in the chat box or you can come off mute and answer. When you create an account, what are the details that you get? Okay, when you want to create an account, what are the details that you will provide? Let's say what you will fill an application, right? Imagine you are filling a bank account creation application form. What are the details that you will provide? Once you provide, what are the details that the bank will provide to you? Can someone type in the chat box? what are the information that you will provide the bank. And once you will provide Aadhaar number, address, okay, thank you. You can actually, along with the answer, you can put a hyphen and your name as well, so that your department knows who is answering. I see it is MSc Computer Science, but your department professor should know who is answering, right? So do put your answer there. Okay, okay, good. So we will provide Aadhaar number, address. Okay, thank you, Jaya. Okay, thank you, Janita ma'am. I think it's Janita ma'am. We provide our details, name, PAN number, date of birth. They will provide account number. Correct. So here, if you see, we have categorized this into two, right? What we provide and what they provide in return. So let's consider database one. Of course, you will have a server. You connect to a server, you will have multiple database, and under one database you will have multiple tables. So let's consider database one has two tables. All the personal information that we provide, our name, ID can be Aadhaar number or PAN card number, address, contact number, right? Until column 4, that is going to be your personal table 1. Let's say there are 100 records in your personal table. Table 2 is going to be your banking table. That will have 150 records. Let's say one person can have multiple accounts as well, right? You can have a salary account, you can have a deposit, you can have a current account. So, banking table 2 is where your account number is available, your account PIN is available. When you use GPay, you put your PIN, you have your account holder name, type of account, whether it is your current account or your savings salary account, and bank balance. So, how are these two tables related? When we say table 1, let's consider ID as a primary key. Why ID as a primary key? I'm pretty sure everyone is aware about primary key because it needs to be a unique identifier. So for table 1, primary key is going to be the column that serves as a ID is going to be the column that serves as a primary key. For table 2, your account number, each one will have a unique account number. So that is going to be considered as a primary key, and there should be a common column, right, between these two. Once you provide your personal information and create details provided by them. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Aarti. That is detailed information. Checkbook, passbook, internet banking, mobile banking, UPI, FSC code. Great, great. Thank you so much for that answer. So, once we provide the personal information, your banking details are available. So, according to the bank, your account number, once it's created, it will be linked to your personal table. So, your primary key ID, your account number is going to be the primary key of table 2, however, the foreign key as well. So, when you provide an information, let's take a step back. Multiple environments. This data is your live production data, correct? Your account number, your account PIN, your name, Aadhaar number, PAN card number, excuse me, excuse me, your account number cannot be shared, right? Because it is live production data, or it is a living data of someone who is available within the bank as a customer. So this data cannot be used for developing the app in the lower environment as development or integration or UAT. So what will happen? We will create dummy data, right? If you want to, in your during your project, yes, you might get multiple, you might submit a Google form for your project and get multiple responses. But in the lower environment, all this data in the structured tables will be mocked up. When I say mocked up, dummy data will be entered, saying email ID 1, password 1. When I key in these two, User 1 is able to log in. Email ID 2, password 2, user 2. So that is how this data would be managed in the lower environments. And once it is verified in the lower environment and deployed into production, you are able to use your data. So whatever functionality that we are using today, that will be mimicked and using a mocked up data, sample data of not someone who lives in the world. It would be a mocked up data or mimicked data that will be used to test the application in the lower environment. So now to connect the dots. When I say to connect the dots, moving back to our agenda, we saw what are the different domains. We saw different applications, let's say Flipkart, Amazon, or Make My Trip, how an app works, login functionality, or ticket booking we took as an example. Different environments are lower environment development, system integration, UAT, end user environment, and then it deploys in production. Data, structured query language, we saw sample table and formats. Sample data, how it is stored. Now, this is an app. This is different environment. Okay, let's say app is your front end. Different environment, it is available in different environment. Data is available in the back end. Now, how will data be sent in the back end? It is in table, column structured. In the front end, it is checkbox as email ID, password. How will it integrate? So here, I did bring up a point, right? Stating when the code is tested and deployed, it integrates with the application. So the functionality login, when we take that as an example, excuse me, let's take two different message formats. From backend, whatever information you have in your table, in the column names, let's take Make My Trip app as an example. You provide a start date, you provide a source, and you provide a destination. From UI, from when I say UI, from the application, when you key in these values, during integration phase, it will get translated into a machine readable format. So this value of start date that you keyed in your search criteria to book a ticket, that will get translated into, if it is XML format, if the application is developed in an XML format, if it is coded to read and write messages in XML format. Anyone, what is XML? Come on, ears wide open. Let's listen to what is XML. I'm pretty sure you would have all read about XML. Can someone abbreviate XML? Excuse me. You want to post answer in the chat window? Do not refer Google. Do not refer mobile search. No, nothing. Come on. From your running notes, from your mind, what do you have? What is XML? What is a message format? Anyone wants to put the answer in the chat window? Don't worry whether it is correct or wrong. Your professors are not going to deduct marks from your internal exam or your semester. This is a working session or a presentation that you are having. Let's see who's going to post answer. Anyone? I know Jocelyn, Jaya, Siva already posted answers. Anyone else? I know we are almost time running over. I'll finish it quickly. What is an XML? Just abbreviate. Okay. XML is an extensible markup language. Okay. This is used to store and transfer data. Whatever you enter in the app, it gets translated into this format. Okay, thank you, Arti. Is a language used to store and share data in a simple, structured, and readable format. Okay, thank you so much for that answer. So, yes, as you mentioned, whatever input you provide in the application, it gets converted into a readable format and sent to the backend so that it can verify, read, compare with what data is available, and authenticate or approve you to log into the application. Similar to XML, there is an JSON structure which is in key value pair format where the data, instead of being in within the tags, it will be displayed within quotes. This format is called as key value pair responses. So once you key in these filters, you get a response as accommodation and list of flights, right? If you are going to search for accommodation, it will send you the list of accommodation. But if you're going to search for flights, this is going to send out the list of flights that are available for the provided information. So now we saw how different types of apps under different domains, how an app works with booking ticket as an example, how different environment is managed in a project, how is data structured, and what are the different roles and responsibilities as a developer or a system integration analyst or a quality engineering analyst or a lead. Now how integration works is using the data, and data is in a structured format. There are different message formats between the UI and backend that's sent out. Now end-to-end integration, you log into Flipkart, you key in your username password from your front end. Let's say it's coded with Java, it integrates with database, it verifies the data, login is successful, it navigates to the landing page. And this application end-to-end integration, if it is on a laptop, that's going to be on a Windows laptop, which could be HP, Acer, Dell, different available brands, and Mac for iOS. Similar way on mobile, you have Android, you have Samsung, Google Pixel, Vivo, iOS phones. So each and every integration, when we say E to E, it is end to end, the holistic picture. So when I say holistic picture, in when we talk about a workflow holistically from a login application till an end user application, how this integration works in different platforms is called as end-to-end integration. So our topic for today that we had was all about, when I say topic, the different agendas. It is about different domains. It could be a banking domain, it could be a healthcare domain, or a retail e-commerce. And then you have different applications in the domain. We took Make My Trip application as an example. How it works, the different environments in a project, how data is managed in a structured. We took table as an example, and then the message format, how it translates between the front end and back end, how it integrates to work. So, when it comes to environment and data management, when you are deployed into a project, this is how it would function. And we looked at the overview today. So, multiple environments, multiple roles. Once you get into a campus, when you get into a role, you could be a Java developer, you could be working in the development environment, you could be working in the integration environment, or you could be working in the final UAT or the production environment to manage an incoming requirement from the client and process the code into a working functionality, deploy, verify, create data in a structured format, verify the message formats, verify the integration, and hand over the project. So, this is what I wanted to bring forward to this forum today, to project or explain or provide live examples and to keep it as an interactive session so that you are able to connect how an actual project would work, how environment and data is managed, comparing it to real life examples. So I thank the entire computer science department and Janita ma'am to be very specific to reaching out and providing this opportunity to bring forward real life and simple examples and provide this presentation to St. Mary's College. Thank you, everyone. I leave the forum open for any questions. I'm pretty sure I cannot match up the way either your Ma'am Vidya Vijay Lakshmi or uh, Ma'am Nayanthra, Janita ma'am, or Mary Selvi, any assistant professors or the post graduation department could have better explained. But this is one simple session that I've put forward, and looking forward to meeting you all in upcoming or any other sessions that is required, or we could do workshops and keep it as an interactive discussion. And thanks to all the students and participants for being proactive and interactive and posting all your answers, even though it was just a simple or something which you haven't worked on as well. So thanks everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Students, switch on your cameras. Gentlemen, okay?
Thanks. Good evening, everyone. I sincerely thank our esteemed speakers of today's international webinar, Ms. A. Anthony Jasmine, Senior Software Engineer, Microsoft Texas, USA, and Ms. S. N. Madhumati, Senior Consultant, Infosys Canada, for their valuable insights on industrial-driven digital technologies. I also extend my gratitude to our beloved Secretary, Reverend Sister Dr. S. Kulandai Teres, Principal, Reverend Sister Dr. Jessie Fernando, Deputy Principal, Reverend Sister Dr. M.S. Elidarasi, Director of SSC, Reverend Sister Dr. A. Oroke Genetius Alphonse. I also thank our coordinator, Dr. A. Vidya Vijayalakshmi, and other staff members and all the participants for making this international webinar a great success. Thank you all for your support and presence. Kindly fill the feedback form which is posted in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Madhumati, and thank you, Jasmine, ma'am. The session was too good and it was very useful for my students actually. And it was very easy to understand also. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, everyone.
Yeah. It,
Thank you
it
so
also
much, ma'am.
helped us learn. And thank you, Madhumita. You made the session. I don't know how to make interactive. I had a QA, but you found a creative way, but it was great.
Thank you so
I
much,
learned from
Asma.
that from you. So how to
Thank you.
make this. This is my first session. So good, good to learn
Thank
from.
you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. All the best
Thank
for
you,
all the
everyone.
students.
Yeah, all the best and have a nice
Thank you,
evening.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerita, for doing this. Yeah, yeah, sure. And let us know if anything in the future if you want. Definitely happy to do.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, any topic, let us know. We will work together.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye. Bye.